Hello everyone, Derek here with something a little bit different for Paper Mario The Origami King, which was just announced today. And rather than a full-blown analysis right off the bat, we wanted to do something a little bit quicker to get as many details to you as possible, because looking through this, there are a lot of really cool details in here that are worth pointing out and you might have missed. So we're going to be taking a look at the trailer, the battle footage, the screenshots, and as much as we can, and we actually even have a full plot synopsis from Nintendo to go over. But once again, this is not our full analysis, that will come later. But what is the Origami King all about? Well, in it, Mario faces one of his most thrilling challenges yet in Paper Mario The Origami King, when the dangerous King Ollie unleashes his plan to fold the entire world. Just when matters couldn't get worse, he's bound Princess Peach's castle in giant colored streamers and transported it to a distant mountain. He's even transformed Bowser's minions into folded soldiers and enlisted them into his treacherous cause. Luckily, Mario is equipped with a range of new tools at his disposal to help secure victory. One of Mario's new abilities, called 1000-fold arms, allows you to interact with the landscape by stretching out and pulling, peeling, and revealing new locations, helping you solve puzzles and uncover unexpected surprises. Along the way, you'll enlist the help of characters old and new, such as King Ollie's good-natured sister, Olivia, along with a range of unlikely allies, including Bowser himself. If they haven't folded to the whims of King Ollie's origami will, Mario will accept all the help he can find with open arms. Paper Mario The Origami King also introduces a new ring-based battle system that lets you flex your puzzle-solving skills to line up scattered enemies and maximize damage. While the enemies may be crafted from paper, these dynamic turn-based battles are far from stationary. It'll require a sharp mind to make work of these crafty enemies. So yeah, that's the synopsis straight from Nintendo, and it's what we can sort of expect from the Origami King. So we got some character names. We got King Ollie as our villain. We have our helper in the form of Olivia. So let's actually break down this trailer itself. And let's go back to our beginning here, where we have the introduction of Origami Peach, which actually is an Origami Peach. So we're just going to run through here. We have her, looking a little more 3D than usual. And you can just sort of tell from the vibe, it all gives off that it's not quite right. But this is actually a key point here that's rather interesting. This seems to be, at least upon first glance, or at least pared down, the same vista from Paper Mario 64 in the intro of that game of Peach's Castle. It all seems to kind of match up. It might also have some elements from Super Mario 64, considering that central piece that Mario is on, but it does match up with what we've seen in the past, which is a cool little detail. Naturally, this is not the actual Princess Peach, and Mario gets dropped into a trap, where we start meeting some of the other characters. And we're going to back up here, where we have Bowser already folded, and one of his minions. It's actually kind of gruesome if you think about it. You can see a Koopa Troopa being carried by origami soldiers. There you go, you can see him wiggling. And he's about to be folded himself and brought into Ollie's folds, so it's actually kind of terrifying in that way. But it's also here that we get our first look at King Ollie, as he transforms from a shy guy into his true form. And yeah, that's our villain for the game. Ollie is just sort of hanging out there. He looks kind of moody with his emo-ish haircut, but he does have the crown, and his ability seems to be able to transform into anything, which likely includes Peach from the beginning. So yeah. And here we have his grand plan, where he sends out the streamers and just completely covers Peach's castle, wraps it all up, and takes it away. Of course, at the time, we also have Mario, Olivia, and the folded Bowser trying to escape the castle, getting away from all of that, and fortunately they're rescued by the Koopa Clown Card. And that's when we finally reach gameplay, where we're introduced to a forest area with already a ton of details around. We get to see Mario's max HP, which is 50. We get to see this interesting bag up here that we don't really know what it does. Could be his inventory that you can just tap while you're in handheld mode. Could be something else entirely, we're not sure. But we also have the trees, and each of them have their little eyes, as you can see here, along with a chest in the corner here. But what's more important is that parts of the land are all dug up, which shows like the wires underneath and kind of makes it a little suspicious. However, we quickly get an answer for that, and that is this guy. As we can see from the dialogue, let's move it forward a bit. There we go. It's eating it. So we have these giant paper mache Goombas going around eating things, including the sides of houses, which kind of indicates that it might have the same idea as Color Splash, where you're filling in things that were damaged before in order to repair the world. It might have that kind of element to it. Of course, we get our first look at Olivia here once we rescue them. But once we get beyond that, we actually have Mario and Olivia hanging out. Olivia is actually rather adorable sitting there and just chilling with a Bob-omb. But that's also important as well because, well, we start seeing this Bob-omb quite a few times across the trailer. But even before that, we're back out here. We have a wheat field to enjoy, and we have our bag here, which it seems a little bit bigger, but it also has a green glow, which again, not sure what exactly it means, but we do know that Mario is up to 70 HP, so something's happened that he's increased it in the time between that forest area and this wheat field. And of course, we still have the 1-up mushroom, which might just be an extra thing to say, hey, this is how much life you have, or it could mean you have this many extra chances. Either way, we got Mario going through the field here. Can see some more of the backgrounds. We got a nice little question block over here, but then we have our Shy Guy running through that would initiate a battle, and in the background we have some more houses to check out. So nothing too major, but it is an interesting location that we haven't really seen before in a Paper Mario. And then we have this little bit where we're on a boat with a Toad, the Bob-omb from earlier, and Olivia. And it is a full-blown minigame. Collect coins, you can see Mario jump like that, and if the boat hits anything, we'll lose a heart. Not so good. Interestingly though, and we don't see this, there is an option to throw confetti, and I'm not sure exactly what that could be. Maybe that's a defensive measure against enemies that come around. It's hard to say, but we are following one of the streamers. We can see the blue streamer right here across the top. So this is just Mario on his way to I guess break this streamer and open the way to Peach's castle. Of course, money is going to be a huge thing in this game, it looks like, already up to almost 6,000 coins, which we might have an explanation of later. So let's continue on, where we have the new 1,000-fold arms that Mario gets, and we'll actually have a little bit more to say about that later, but they do require specific places to stand on in order to utilize them. But it is a little wild. If I had to guess, this ability is activated through the use of Olivia, and she'll be able to help you get these arms in specific places, and that's why she's joining Mario on the trip. So let's go ahead and move on. And now we're in a hot spring where we're hanging out with Bowser Jr. and Kamek, and actually there has to be something back here because we got this little like bathtub plug in the back that we're likely going to have to drain. And Bowser Jr. is all happy, wanting to know how he looks, which might come back to later. But that Kamek, or more specifically Magic Koopa, we believe is an ally, especially in later sequences. So in one chapter it looks like you get a Bob-omb, in another chapter it looks like you get a Magic Koopa, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, they're not named or have unique designs, but hey, small baby steps toward 1,000-year door levels. Anyway, let's continue on, where we get a pyramid area where Mario is now teamed up with an Explorer Toad, and we still have the same Toad hieroglyphs, I believe from either Sticker Star or Color Splash. I forget which game exactly had those. But we have a mysterious shadow back here that has, it's a toad shape, but the face is missing, which kind of leads to a ghost. We also have another opening here that got eaten up, so it's a little terrifying in that way. Now, we'll come back to this because there is an explanation for why there is a toad with a hole in its head, kind of. But anyway, let's continue on. And now we're in a desert area at night. I mean, this is really gorgeous. We have Mario riding around in a shoe car, which is just adorable. And we got this entire desert to explore. This seems like a massive area, and once again we can see our yellow ribbon guiding us to where we need to go. The area earlier might have actually taken place in this tower, and interestingly, there's an eclipse. It's what's giving this desert its look and really giving its own vibe. Of course, we also have our Pokies in the background here causing trouble, and even some of the mountain got eaten right here. thanks to those paper mache Goombas or whoever else might have done it. Also, interestingly, there might be treasure to find as we see this little glowing spot here, which is actually very reminiscent of the Great Sea in Wind Waker with those treasure spots. Don't know if it'll work the same, but nice to see that Mario has a way to quickly traverse the desert and reach areas around there, which seems to be a pretty common theme because we've already seen the river ride, we have the shoe, and we'll see one more as we go along. So Mario's making his way, and we can actually, if we actually back up here, we got a little thing right here, which might just be a chest. But yeah, it just goes to show that every corner of this area can be fully explored, which is pretty cool. Alright, let's move on. And we got a giant rock coming at Mario. That's pretty common. And even the skies are taken over by King Ollie as we have his paper airplane squadron coming after Mario, as we'll soon see later. Going back, we have this kind of turtle shell item chasing after Mario. We've got to have those running sequences. However, there are openings right here that Mario might be able to duck into and not get hurt. This could be a save block. It's pretty similar. We do know the save blocks are back from later portions, but that is kind of the first indication of them. So let's continue on. And we actually get our another look at the arms actually being put in use, where Mario is pulling a tab and opening up the way thanks to that upper region there. So that's pretty cool. We also see that it looks like it uses motion controls because you're actually pulling on the Joy-Con. So it might require the Joy-Con, or you might be able to just use the Pro Controller itself, because it seems to be doing both in tandem rather than separate. Or it could be together. Hard to say for sure. But in the next scene, we actually have several pipes, all different colors and with different numbers on them, which we believe is probably a warp room. So it looks like there's going to be 6 different areas in the game. We'll have to look into it a little bit further with the full analysis, but that seems to be the indication. You can probably read the plaques in front so you can see where to go, and they'll be opened up so you can return to them much more easily. Or it could be something completely different. It's hard to say for sure at this point. And another activity Mario will be able to take part in is fishing. Actually, let's go back here as we see him with his fishing pole fishing up this giant Cheep. But more importantly is we have this Koopa Troopa right back here, which could be another partner. Maybe you fish him up, this Cheep up, and the Koopa Troopa will join you, or he's already with you. Hard to say why exactly you're fishing, but it seems to be more of a cutscene than a minigame, at least at this point, because there's not really any indication. We also have, it's sort of like the river area, as we can see the lilies and whatnot back here. So it could all be the same area where you recruit the Bob-omb. We'll have to wait and see to know for sure. But here's our first look at the battle system, where Mario is already up to 150 HP. He has stands all over, filled with toads watching and enjoying. He's up to 12,000 coins, so you're going to collect a lot of coins in this. And if we back up, we can see there's a certain amount of ring moves that you can use within the time limit, which is constantly counting down. You can see the ring controls, you have the camera that you can move, and it's interesting here is that Mario moves the blue, the Boomerang brother in line with the different Fire Brothers, and we can see 2 more around. This is actually the most active battle scene that we see in this entire all the media that they put out. But for some reason with the lineup, I guess we're getting 4 in a row, but it's not shown before. Maybe it's because we're actually seeing the full cusp of it, but because we got 4 lined up, Mario's actually going to do 1.5 times damage. So there is strategy in this in order to get everything figured out. So attack powered up. Alright, now we're into another area within the desert, this time with a Sniffit town that is just neon is all get out. It's pretty cool. We've lost the glow once again around the green bag. Mario is only at 110 HP, so it's hard to say whether the HP is based on what you found or actually leveling up. Don't know that for sure. We got our save block here, so it's a nice central hub. And this seems like just normal houses. Maybe not. We have a little shop here potentially with this Sniffit, or he's just another NPC as a shop owner. Kind of a dance club over here, and if we can go a little further, we actually have another Sniffit area with 2 guards in the back there. We even have, actually, Here's a really interesting bit. There's a magic lamp right here with an L on it. So are we going to get Genie Luigi, or is that how you summon Luigi? We know he's in the game, but what does that exactly mean? It's interesting and could be fun. So let's go ahead, and we get another mode of transportation. We can sail, and it seems to be a massive amount of sailing considering you have a sea chart, you can actually boost, and you can actually dive. We actually see the little dive machine right on the back of the boat, so you can actually go underwater and see everything. And of course, this island that you can land on is question block shaped, or at least question mark shaped, so kind of matches that idea. So again, it could be full Wind Waker, where you can explore this open sea, check out different islands, go underwater, find secrets. There is so much to explore, it seems, within the Origami King. And fortunately, if you get tired of it, you don't have to sail all the way back to town. You can just hit return to town and go from there. So it seems explorative without taking up a lot of time and like, oh god, I gotta backtrack, that kind of thing. So that's kind of nice. Let's go ahead and move on. And we're back towards the beginning of the game where we see Bowser's clip and Bowser actually joining Mario, which honestly, watching Bowser move back and forth like that, that's a joy. Bowser just immediately gets taken out of the equation, folded up, and joins Mario. So he'll actually be an ally at one point, probably the first ally, since you're only at 50 HP at this point. But we'll continue on, and we have a fire area where Mario has 120 HP, and rather than full green, this is actually more of a yellowish green, more limeish for the bag at this point. Mario is only at 70 HP, so he's definitely getting hit by these guys. And what's actually interesting about these things that are blowing out the fire, if we go back real quick, shouldn't take too long to get there. There it is. I think we can see them right here. They're right in the background here. So this is, we can see bits of fire on the sides. So this is likely the same area. This is just a battle that's taken part at that point. So yeah, nothing much more to say about there. And now we have another view of the battle system where we had 4 boos lined up, and we have some commentary from the Toads, as well as the shiny boots, which maybe you can change up what kind of boots you use in order to do more damage. It's more of an equipable thing. There's no indication that you gather up items like in Color Splash or Sticker Star, so it might just be an equipable thing that you can use. It's hard to say. There's also a star on them, so maybe you can master the different boots in some way. Again, we don't know for sure. All we do know is that this takes place in the desert. So let's go ahead and go through there, and actually, real quick, there we go. We're in a Japanese-based location with a painted face, painted face thwomp, which is just sort of wonderful. I forget the actual term for these Japanese players, but it's kind of like, I think it's like no theater, more of like a samurai lord type thing. But the ninjas, if we go actually forward, are actually acting like ninjas, so Mario's about to get ambushed, which is not so good. And then we have another interesting thing, probably a boss if we had to guess, because we can see actually the symbol of King Ali behind this creature, which seems to be made up entirely of hair ties. So that's interesting. It's a bit mummy-like, so maybe this is the boss of the desert area. Hard to say for sure. But it also has its arms out in a specific way, so it might just be a dancer. It's hard to say whether this is a boss fight or some sort of crazy minigame or what have you. We'll have to see as we go along. This could be in the Sniffit Town because of all the lights as well. Continuing on, we see more of the airplanes attacking Bowser's airship this time around, and we can see more of the characters. We got Bowser Jr., we got Bowser over here, we got the Koopa Troopas, we got Spikes, we got the Magic Koopa, and of course Mario and Olivia on the ship as well. So this might be during an escape sequence or when they try to get close. Hard to say, because after that happens, the spikes get launched. So it could happen to all of them. It could just take down the entire thing, because that paper airplane has definitely punctured Bowser's airship, and it's not looking so good. Now here we have a giant turtle emerging from the dirt, which could be a Origami Koopa Troopa, maybe a boss Koopa Troopa. in that form. The other thing that's noted, of course, is we ran earlier from a kind of shell, and we wonder if this might be the same shell that you ran from. There's sort of a chase sequence before you actually have a fight with them. Hard to say for sure. But then we also have the sequence where Peach's castle is being lifted into the sky. We have Bowser next to Mario, so this is definitely in the opening. We can see all the mountains around that were mentioned in the story summary, and it just gives a sense of what we're in for, like the sort of the scale of this attack before they have to make a run for it. So that's everything getting taken over, or it could be Bowser's castle getting taken over. Hard to say, but that is the entire map, right? The entire thing right there. Except for the outro. There is one thing I missed earlier I want to grab real quick. Let me just scan through here and find it. I can't believe I missed this. So ashamed. There we go. We're back here. And yeah, we have this overview of Toad Town. I can't believe I missed this initially, but yeah. It's not too as unsurprising, as we'll learn later, but there is an origami festival going around because, you know, of course, we're having a sticker festival and a color world. There's always festivals happening with these Paper Mario games where things go wrong, but you can see the origami all over the place even before this happens. And you can this might be like the hub of everything, and there's definitely things to purchase. We got this little museum over here to check out, but it gives a sense of scale. There's also different directions that we can go into, not only from the front here, but from the side over here. But we got to fix a bridge first, and then we can go to the right over here to go to the woods. There's the right area to go into water, a southern area with even more road over this way, and then of course going to the west. So we kind of get our primary directions. We don't see the world map, so I don't know if it's level based like in Sticker Star and Color Splash, but it is interesting to note nonetheless. But yeah, let's go ahead and get past our launch date, which is July 17th, coming up very soon. And of course we have this wonderful moment at the very end where Mario wears a papier-mâché helmet of Samus, which is just kind of wonderful. Of course, we have the Goomba over here as well, along with even Donkey Kong. And this seems to be pretty early on as our buddy Bob-omb is here, so this is one of the earlier areas. But almost more notable is the trash can over here, which seems to have a crumpled up Toad, which means you might have to rescue Toads again in this game. But there's not a lot of evidence, but we'll point out where we see Toads when we do. But of course, the great thing is we got Mario holding his other arm like an arm cannon. He's really getting into the cosplay scene, and it is adorable. There's even actually a Toad. It's hard to see, but there is a Toad hiding behind there. Let me forward it a bit. Yeah. So you can see him hiding, and yeah, hanging out there. And is he battling something? He's fighting a Metroid. You don't want to mess with that. Anyway, that is the main trailer, but we also have this scene from the Japanese website that shows a little bit more of the combat system, where we're starting at 50, and man, you earn coins quick in this game if you're already at 1200. They might start you out with more money than usual, but we're fighting origami Goombas, and we have a little bit more of the idea. Now, we'll actually get this translated, but this gives them a little bit more in action where you can ask for hints and whatnot. We'll have a screenshot that shows what all that could do. But you can sort of see it in action where you choose the 4 different rings and then you can rotate them to make it work. And if you line up 4, it looks like you get, rotating does not cost anything, but you only have a certain amount of time. And you do get the 1.5 times attack damage once you line up 4 in a row. So that seems to be what you're going to be aiming for. And then I guess you use whatever you might want to in those cases. So that gives an idea of the battle system. And actually, if we go back here, we can see what Mario can use for the entire lineup. Either in this case, his shoes, might be the shiny suit shoes, or a hammer. So it seems to be more based on what's good for the time. So yeah, you want to jump on the Goombas, but you don't want to jump on something that has like a Spiny or a Pokey. So you want to use the hammer, and that's how you want to line it up. So it does not seem to be Sticker Star or Color Splash based as far as how the combat system is laid out. So get to see more of that. And considering Mario's only doing 12 damage at that point, he is definitely he definitely increases his strength as time goes along. So there might be some more RPG mechanics to this. Anyway, we have our screenshots now where we have our turtle hanging out with us. Just getting a better look at this origami potential Koopa Troopa. And let's move over here and grab all these. Of course, we get another one. We got lineup so we can see Goomba paratroopers there along with Shy Guys. More of the sort of wooded areas around. Next screenshot, we see the hand symbol, so Mario can use his extended arms, and just more of the origami artwork. We can actually see a little swan back here, along with a cafe, but we might have to rescue that toad. So that might actually be the idea, is that you need to rescue the toads in order to populate Toad Town and allow access to more abilities or items or just special services. That seems pretty likely. Then we see it in action with the pool that we saw a little earlier. Of course, back here in the corner, we can see the paper mache Goomba just having a chomp. So this seems to take place before that, where you find him eating. Hard to say for sure, but that seems to be our guess. And then we got, of course, it opened up this time around. But interestingly, this time the paper mache Goomba is gone. So maybe he's wandering around this time. And then, let's see. Sorry, we're backing up here. Just getting everything associated. There we go. Got our pool. All right, here we go. So again, we're just going through the screenshots that Nintendo made available. We've seen a lot of these during the main game, so we can just click through them pretty quickly. We do get a better look at our ribbons here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors, which we saw earlier with the pipes along with gray. So it looks like there's going to be 5 different areas to explore, and the last one could be Peach's Castle. That seems rather likely. Covering up more, of course. And we got the eating. And there's our introduction to Olivia. Meeting up with the Babam. Going back into our boat. Just trying to get to the new stuff. Here we go. So this might be the reason why Bowser Jr. is so excited to be in that bath. He's covered in dirt for some reason. He thinks it's rigged. Something is rigged against him, but it kind of looks like Bowser Jr. kind of teams up with you at some point as well. But maybe that's why he's happy. He's all clean again. Of course, more of the desert and Sniffit Town. The going around there. We got our ninjas. Got our moves again. Actually, no. We want this one back. Because this is a translated version of what we can actually do. So you can get hints from Olivia. You can get a cheer. You can get hints from Olivia. You can get a cheer from the Toad audience. So I guess that's another reason that you want to build them up. I don't know what the cheer does. Maybe it could extend things. And of course, you can flee from battle. But the other interesting thing is, the reason that you might want to have a lot of coins is that you can buy time. It gives you 30 seconds, it seems, to make your moves and get it all lined up. But if you're running low on time and need to get something completed or line up all of them in a row so you can get that extra damage, you can buy more time and allow that to happen. And honestly, if I had to guess, it might be that if there's a gap like there is here, you can't actually get all the Goombas in a line. Maybe you can only hit the first ones. It's hard to say exactly, but that's just our guess from what we've seen so far. Of course, we do get them all lined up this time, and we can bash them on the head. Now, another brand new scene is another running sequence where Mario is escaping from a ton of thwomps coming down. A little scary. And hey, we finally get our first look at both Paper Luigi and Paper Peach, and this is where we get our Origami Festival. In Toad Town. We can see more of that museum that we saw from above. At least I believe it's a museum. Hard to say for sure. And Luigi even has his cart from earlier, Sticker Star, and I believe it was Sticker Star. He had the cart. So that's a cool little nod. And of course, Luigi is back in here. And we have folded Bowser, Olivia, and Mario taking on this Goomba. This is likely one of the early fights. Now, interestingly, here is the yellow Shy Guy that Ollie folded from. So it could be that somebody else completely is Peach, unless he did mind wipe Peach and take over Peach that way. This could actually be the real Peach if we're seeing this yellow Shy Guy here that was which transformed earlier. So yeah, that could be the big thing, is Peach was brainwashed, and that makes sense for why you have to save her now. That's for sure. Again, just a wide vista, this time with the red streamer, but we got all kinds of things to explore. We got all these holes around, we got the question block, we got a Koopa Troopa up there, a normal one, not one of the origami ones. We got a pipe over here, and even more areas to check out in this. And actually, there's even a flagpole here, so this could be the end of the level. So it could be stage-based once again, where you have to reach the end of a level in order to, the map is split up into levels like Sticker Star and Color Splash that you then explore. It's hard to say just from that, but that seems to be the indication. Anyway, we have our idea here where it's like, yeah, I don't think you're going to be fighting regular paper enemies this time around. It seems to be all origami based, especially because, everybody wants to watch each other's backs with people getting taken over and whatnot. We also get a wider view of the Sniffet Town, all more neon, get a better look at the eclipse as well, so again, all still set up that way. We get to see another building though with sort of an item shop, because we can see a mushroom, we can see a fire flower, we can see an ice flower, and we can even see a hammer. So you might have to buy those individual things, or they might just be like upgrades that you can purchase. This could just be an item shop or an equipment shop that you can utilize. But again, we have a toad in the middle here, almost getting whacked by that hammer. That again indicates that you might be rescuing toads. So yeah, a bit more of the boat where we actually can see inside of it as we're following the pink ribbon. Here we get more of the enemies that we got to deal with, which is our piranha plants. Got all the spike balls going around, exploring the swamp area. We have Magic Koopa with you once again, except he seems to have something folded. But interestingly, it is, we can see dirt on it, and we can see this little tuft of hair and what looks to be eyes. So somehow or another, I don't know exactly what happens, but something happens to Bowser Jr. and this Magic Koopa has to carry him around for the level. So I guess we're kind of rescuing Bowser Jr. in this. It's something. And of course we have this crazy sequence with all the dancing Shy Guys doing like a ballerina type thing. They're all paper mache, but we're definitely getting into the weirdness. And this could also be where the hair tie monster comes in that we saw earlier, because it was kind of doing a ballet-ish pose. And maybe all the hair ties are for the ballerinas. Who knows? Moving on, we also have a disco area, so there's all going to be all kinds of dancing. But this is the pyramids, as we can see our little pith helmet toad that was joining us earlier, and of course we have all these toads without faces. These are the guys running around. Somehow, all these guys got their faces stolen. It's a little freaky, and yeah, not sure exactly. And not exactly sure what's going on there. But we even have a DJ in the back. You can just barely see him right here. So the pyramid's going to be a little wild, that's for sure. Continuing on, we have a chase sequence featuring a chain chomp, which is kind of terrifying. We can see the Magic Koopa with you, along with Bowser Jr. right here. And we even have a floating island in the back that we're likely trying to reach. Maybe that's where the streamer goes. We don't see any evidence of it, but interesting little floating island that we have there. Continuing on, we have a boss fight against a blooper, which actually seems to be the same one from Super Mario Sunshine, very similar at least, and we can see all the weak points right on here. It's all of its tentacles, its eye. Maybe those were the ones already hit, or maybe those are just different places you can hit, because this doesn't, this isn't in the battle, but we are in the boat, so this could be a boss or a mini boss of that water area. Continuing on, we have where the ninja school. Once again, we have the Babam with us, so this seems to be pretty early on, based on everything we've seen so far. And of course, this is where the ninja attack and all that. Probably part of the river area as well. And then we have a lot. It's not just paper mache Goombas. We got paper mache Shy Guys, which we saw earlier, and of course paper mache Koopas. So they're definitely finding ways to change up the enemies, and it's a little terrifying. But of course, we also have an autumn area where we can just kind of sit down and relax. Like that Bob-omb is chill as all get out. Not really any indication of what you can do there. It might just be a rest area so you can revive health. Hard to say. Of course, we're back into the sauna again, and Bowser Jr. is back to his old self. And now we're back in the pyramids where we can see more of the Toad hieroglyphs. Maybe possible to break those pots to get some extra coins. That is all the screenshots. But it's not quite everything, as another little video popped out that gives a more indication. So this is again from the Japanese side of things, where we get more of the Bob-omb area. Nothing too crazy yet, but we do get the Ninja Town, where we get to see all the places to see. We got the little Shy Guy guarding things here. We got a map, so we have an indication of where we need to go. So this is the central area that we got kicked out of before. All the little side streets. There seems to be something hidden back here. Could be a Toad. Well, we can see a Toad right here, so he might just be hiding and selling some goods. He has a backpack full of things, so could be more items. But yeah, there's a full-blown Ninja Town that we get to explore pretty early on. Might even be part of the first world to collect everything. Of course, we also have a question block over here along with some coins. So that's the big takeaway from this so far. Is just the areas you explore are huge. With just tons to see. A little bit more of the field area, which again seems to be part of the same ninja type area, especially with those, you have those samurai movies in the wheat fields as you're fighting each other. Maybe this is rice, actually. I don't think it's rice, but either way. All those areas, we've got these little shrines in the background. Maybe you can do something with that. There's signs next to it, so it seems very likely. And here's another interesting thing, a little area where we have a origami spike along with a chest, and then we have all kinds of different pictures of Peach. And what's really cool about this is they're the Peaches from across all the games. We have Paper Mario 64 Peach, we have what I believe to be Paper Mario 1000 Year Door Peach, we have Super Paper Mario Peach because we have all the little digital effects. We have all the stickers behind Sticker Star Peach, and this is likely Color Splash Peach. Before we have, likely, especially with the mountains in the background, Origami King Peach. So yeah, all the Peach, you can see the evolution of Peach across the games, which is a nice little touch. This seems to be the boat as well, considering we have the little things here. Or it could be later because we have Bob-omb here that got swallowed up by Spike and is getting ready to get tossed, so that's a little terrifying. But yeah, there's a lot of information out there. It is looking really cool, and I'm not, it's hard to say how it's going to turn out. I enjoyed Color Splash. I'm looking forward to Origami King, and we'll have to see how it all goes. But we'll, of course, have much more details, get a little bit more granular with our analysis coming up later. And, of course, we'll have a discussion on Origami King, so look forward to all that. And, of course, be sure to subscribe to Game Explained for more on Paper Mario and other things gaming as well. Till next time, bye.